At this point, I have coached hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals on improving their disc golf game. And the difference between those people who make form changes more efficiently, more quickly, and those who get stuck in form change whack-a-mole purgatory forever is not so much what they practice, but how they practice. So today, I wanted to give you 3 practice principles that you could implement to more effectively solidify form changes. Let's get started.
Drop.
First, you have to have a feedback loop. That is some outside source, not things that you're feeling, where you go, that felt like I did it right. You have to have some outside objective source of verifying that information. Let me give you 3 very simple options there. 1, a full-length mirror, if anybody has those. 2, tech disc will automatically capture that function for you. 3rd, and I think probably the most practical for those who don't have a tech disc, would be a setup like this. So your phone or your tablet, if you get like a cheap little tripod here, these work really great as modern day mirrors. As I'm doing my daily form reviews with people, I'm looking and I say, okay, if I'm working on keeping my head centered, I can do this real time and I can see myself move through this. I can see and get attachment to this feeling of if my head starts going back over my back foot here and correct it immediately. Good to go. Throw. There's a basket there. So principle 1, you have got to get a feedback loop. You don't need it all the time, but in the early stages, when your feel is all messed up, when you're doing something wrong that you're just doing subconsciously, just happens without you knowing, you need to start having an objective way to say, oh, okay, I'm doing this incorrectly. And then you start going, what does this feel like? You're just wasting your time without a feedback loop, because if your feel was amazing, you wouldn't have technical problems. Obviously, it's jacked up. Get some kind of mirror or something that you can give yourself immediate feedback between the feel and real. Scaling. The concept here is that our body does not have a technique, right? So you need to work from our body subconsciously does the wrong thing to our body consciously, we have to focus to make it do the right thing. And then we're trying to move that to subconsciously doing the right thing. So right now it's automatically wrong. And there's this whole stage in the middle that we've got to work through using the idea of scaling to get us to automatically right. And what I often see is that people, first off, don't do something at a speed that they can do it correct. Now, if we take a step back and we think about this, I wouldn't go to a gym and grab the heaviest weights there and work on my technique, right? I wouldn't be able to lift them off the floor. But in disc golf, when people try to make form changes, they mess up scaling right off the bat because they're practicing at a speed that they're never going to get it correct at. So first, we have to slow down and find a speed, and there is a speed that you can get a technical move correct at. A lot of people are unwilling to go slow enough to give their body a chance to learn the technique. So on the front end of scaling, we need to go, how slow do I have to go to get this move correct? And if that is this slow, let's say I'm working on getting nose down. You guys are the worst offenders of this. If I'm working on going nose down, here comes the crucial moment. If that's how slow you have to start to give your body a chance to learn the correct motion, go that slow. Some of you are sitting there wondering why you're not throwing those down, and you're just cranking the sucker. You're wondering why you're not getting any stronger and the weight's never coming off the floor. Go to a speed that you can do it correct. Now, some of you are a little sneakier with your lack of scaling, and you think you're better off, but you're not. Some of you will do this.
Degrees nose down.
Ah, nailed it at the slow speed. And then your next rep looks like this.
1.4 degrees nose up.
I don't understand. I can do it slow, but I can't do it when I'm throwing 65 miles an hour. I can do a curl with 5 pounds, but I can't do it with 100 pounds. What's wrong with me, right? When we put it in context, we need to scale up. So Tech Disc is a great tool for this, because what I'll do with my players is I'll say, I need to see one nose down at 45 miles an hour. Then I need to see one at 48 miles an hour, and I will manually make them scale with speed numbers from Tech Disc. You have got to slowly build. And if you're not disciplined to do that, it's gonna break when you go to full speed, and you're gonna get frustrated, and you're gonna be here for longer than you need to be. My family likes it when I make money. They like food and shelter. My goal is to get people out of my dailies as quickly as possible while having them meet their goals. So if you wanna waste more money, and you wanna spend more time, and you wanna be frustrated for longer, don't scale. If you want to be more efficient and wanna get done with the whack-a-mole, be patient and go at speeds and let your body's muscles develop these form changes over time, and they'll be stronger for it. The last principle I'm gonna call the 80% principle. In short, what you wanna do is you wanna practice at a speed, at a tempo, at a difficulty level where you are successfully executing whatever the objective is 80% of the time. Now, this is different to what we might naturally think, and what I thought for a while, where it's like, well, I want to practice in a way that I can't get it wrong ever. When reading The Talent Code by David Coyle, that doesn't really stand up to science. What we want is improvement. So the problem with doing something correct 100% of the time is your body doesn't learn. So let's take putting, for example, because there's a lot of putting teaching that says, I want to practice at a place where I'm making them all because I want to be super confident. Well, confidence is great, and when you're happy with your putt and you're done learning, maybe you do want a lot of confidence. But when we're trying to improve our putt and grow our putting skill set, we want 20% failure in the system. So what we want is, if I'm draining putts 80% of the time, and then I miss one, now my body has to go, It assumes that whatever you're doing 80% of the time is what you want to do. It says, oh, he's doing it, therefore this must be what he wants to do. And then when I get a result that's outside of that, now my body goes, hey, that's not part of the 80%. How do we fix that problem? Get some more mental resources over here. He messed up, right? So we have to give our brain an opportunity to bring in more resources, and it has to say, hey, I want this result. So do something about this and bring some help over here, right? So maybe I learn, okay, now there's enough failure. Well, maybe I don't have to putt it at 50 miles an hour. Maybe get some touch in here, see if it catches. Now I learn to make adjustments. But if I'm sitting here making 100%, my body's not learning. Again, fine if you're happy with your putt. If you're working on it, not great. So you want to go at a distance where you're only making 80%, only. Some of us are praying for that 80%. Now, on the other hand, if you're at a range where your 80% is that, your body goes, well, that's what he wants to do. So when it sees one here, it thinks that's the wrong one. So if your 80% is failure, and it sees the 20%, it starts attacking the 20%, which of course is what you want to happen. You want to make putts, but if you practice at a range where you're only missing, then it thinks, oh, let's solve that make problem that this guy had, right? So you need the sweet spot scientifically, so Daniel Coyle says, is 80%. So sit in a place where you've got some failure so your body can learn. And that line's gonna move, right? Today, that might be 15 feet from the basket. Tomorrow, that might be 16 or 17. But you wanna constantly move and adjust your speed, distance, the size of your landing zone, the size of the gap. You adjust these various things based on what you're working on to stay in kind of this learning sweet spot. It's just enough overload. You want your body just to be overwhelmed enough so that it says, what do we do to fix this? Like I said in the beginning of this video, I work with players almost daily, and I see a lot of players come through kind of the Overthrow Academy, if you will. I use these principles, and I'm constantly telling students to do these things for their success. So if you add these 3 kind of practice principles to your routine, I think you will be way better off. Now, if you need help implementing form changes, of course, we have our daily form reviews that you can get in. We've got a bunch of coaches at various price points, some as low as $25 a month, that you could hook up with and get moving on these technical changes. I hope you will, because sometimes just a reminder of, yeah, you're not practicing the wrong thing, you're just practicing it the wrong way. It's really helpful to have those eyes on, because disc golf is not that complicated. It's the discipline of how you practice that makes all the difference. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you in the next one.